Hello and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 11th of October. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now I'm going to give you the major strands of this week as an overview and then dive deep for each individual zodiac sign. So please stay with me. Now the major news story this week is that Saturn, the ruler of time, Saturn is the Latin version of Kronos, the Greek god. Kronos, old, father, time. So Saturn governs the mechanics of things. It's very much to do with where we're applied, where we're disciplined, but it can also be about limitation and obstacles and contraction. And since the 23rd of May, Saturn has been retracing its steps in the sign of Aquarius, which of course it co-rules. But for vast amounts of that time, it has been pretty much in a square with Uranus, the other ruler of Aquarius, which is very progressive and freedom-loving, very much about trying new things, where Saturn's very much about traditionality. So if you have experienced a period of great frustration in your situation and it feels that things just haven't been moving forwards, it's really positive that Saturn starts to station direct. But this week also sees the Sun and Mars in the sign of Libra in a combination which is pushing us to assert our rights around relationships in a tense right angle with Pluto, the planet of transformation. And this can lead to some quite forceful or heated standoffs. But those relationships that are much more constructive are given an opportunity to become even more stable and progressive, because Venus, the planet of relating in the sign of philosophy, Sagittarius, is linking brilliantly to Saturn. So that's a real upside to this week. But there is a quarter moon which occurs on Wednesday, and this one is pretty close to Pluto, and it's the moon in Capricorn, and that's squaring to the Sun in the 7th house. Do you know, there may be a situation where we do actually try very much to fit in with what's expected of us, but somehow or another, whoever we're trying to relate to will still find that our efforts just are not good enough. So expect to encounter someone who really is quite hard to please, and that could in itself be quite frustrating if we're really trying our best to be quite constructive. Now the other thing to tell you is that by the end of this week, both Mercury and Jupiter on Sunday are ending their retrogrades, both in air signs, the Mercury retrograde in Libra and Jupiter in Aquarius. But I will tell you more about that next time. But the big news story this week is definitely that Sun-Mars square with Pluto and Saturn going forwards. Now, if you're new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And if you want your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, please click on the subscription link beneath this video. I write for some of the world's bigger platforms, and also for the British Press Association. I've been their lead astrologer for many years, and also Britain's most read daily newspaper, the Metro, so why not grab yours too? And with year 2022 fast racing up, if you want to understand what the year holds for you personally, based on your time, date and place of birth, you can order your forecast now and get the rest of this year free, plus a character analysis, plus 30% off. So gain searing insights for what lies ahead for you. Hello Gemini, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 11th of October. So Saturn goes forwards in your 9th house of travel, of widening your horizons, of independence, of discovery, of truth. And if all those areas have just felt very limited since the 23rd of May, it really wouldn't be a surprise. But of course Uranus has been a real thorn in your side because it's in a very tender location and has been squaring up with Saturn for virtually the whole of this year within quite a close amount of degrees. So although Saturn's starting to go forwards, you still have Uranus in a very sensitive area, the 12th house. So the truth, which the 9th house represents, still needs to be informed around your emotions. So being an air sign, being very logical, brilliant with people, amazing at distilling and sharing information as you are, I think that Uranus continues to try to remind you that there's parts of your being, parts of your emotional or physical approach that need to be integrated and become more part of you. And Saturn going forwards in the 9th house is brilliant if you are wanting to set off somewhere, particularly by the end of the week with Jupiter going direct as well in the same area. But if you are discussing anything to do with a contract, the fact that Venus is in your 7th house is wonderful, because that gives you a fantastic ability to listen, relate, be very charming, very discerning, and that actually can bring an opportunity your way to expand your horizons or to share knowledge that you have. But with the Sun and Mars together in the sign of Libra, this is your 5th house of where you really want to show passion, where you want to be joyful, where you may want to be a bit more risk-taking. But because Pluto in the 8th house and also the quarter moon on Wednesday is linking back to the Sun and Mars, if there's any kind of jealousy or backbiting or control or this sort of heavy dark stuff washing around a love situation, or where you're trying to express your skills, if you don't feel that you're getting the financial rewards that you really deserve, that can create a power energy which may push you in some ways to really assert what you want. But I wouldn't push too hard, I wouldn't be too ruthless to get what you want, because something could get broken completely. And it's great that Venus and Saturn are in such a constructive alliance for you. Mercury, of course, your ruler, is continuing to retrograde, but it comes to a close as this week ends. And so I just say that Libran energy is about finding a balance. So even if you feel that you're not quite getting the rewards, the recognition, or even the satisfaction from the more joyful elements of life, try not to let frustration get the better of you, because once your ruler goes direct at the end of this week, on the 18th, the start of the following week, I do feel that things will start to resolve in a more satisfactory way for you.